Awesome. Kia ora, guys, and welcome to our very first Resilience Matters podcast episode. It's amazing to have one of my mentors and founder of a local charity,
Charitable Trust.
Have a Heart Charitable Trust, here with us.
In the studio.
Yes, in the studio here, and sharing a little bit about his journey as a founder and just where he sort of came from and his new journey into into having even more impact in our community. So welcome, Chris, and so just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, originally from South Africa.
Yes.
I grew up in a middle-class family, was the eldest son of eventually 6 children.
Wow.
And for most of my life, grew up in the church and formed a passion for people, especially people who are suffering and finding life difficult, people who are dealing with difficult situations. As you mentioned, your program being about resilience, how do we overcome those difficult issues in life? How do we get over the hurdles? In the church context, we talk about the mountains, we talk about the giants, the thorn in the flesh. Yes. How do we deal with those things? And it's great to be able to journey with people, and that's always been my focus. But I think coming to New Zealand was a very interesting journey for me. In South Africa, I had been the founder of a Christian school in 1991, which is a story in itself.
Yes.
It's still running today.
What's the name of the school, sorry?
It's called Highway College.
Awesome, Highway College.
Originally it was called Highway Christian Academy.
Yep.
But later on it developed into a college. So that was an interesting journey. But at the same time, I also was involved in a church that had lost its way, had 10 members left, and I received a call. And that church, I've just come back from South Africa, where we opened an 800-seater of the church. Wow. The significance of the congregation was we were a totally white church, and the church grew over a 13-year period. I was the minister there for 13 years, and it grew to about 350 white people.
Wow, yes.
And I had the prompting to invite our brothers and sisters of other ethnicity groups in South Africa, particularly the Zulu people.
Yep.
I'll never forget when the first Indian family walked into the church and what it was like. And then the first Zulu family came, and then the first coloured family came, as we call them. And today they have over 2,000 members.
That's incredible.
Even the 800-seater is already too small.
Too small, yeah.
The program and the mission started when I took on a companion or an assistant minister who I had raised and mentored in the Zulu church.
Yeah.
And he became my partner.
Yeah.
We became partners, and I still work very closely with him, even though I'm far away. So it was such a great honor to be able to be part of the opening of the building and being the keynote speaker.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
When was the opening of that?
That was the 9th of July.
This year?
This year.
Oh, wow.
So I've just
That's
come
awesome.
back.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
Wow. That's incredible.
It was very, very moving
Yeah.
to be part of that and to be honored for the work that we... It took almost, 20 years to get the building off the ground because of the red tape.
Yeah.
And of course with COVID in between, originally a project that was going to cost 4 million rand ended up costing 14 million rand.
Cheapest.
The significance is that the people gathered together and they paid for it in cash.
Yep.
It was wonderful.
Wow, that's amazing.
But that's just the beginning of the story. I'd been there for 13 years. Sadly, my first wife passed away, died suddenly. And that left a massive void in my life. And I had to rethink my life. I had to rethink my journey, not realizing how effective she was in ministry once she was gone. It made a big difference. I really felt inadequate after she'd gone. But 2 years later, I remarried. I thought, well, God, you've got a good sense of humor. But what happened is there was an expectation on my new wife to step into the shoes of my first wife. And that was a bit unfair.
Yep.
So we both decided that maybe we need a change. And that's when New Zealand came into the picture. My eldest son married a Kiwi girl about 20 years ago, and they live at that time they were living in Auckland. And my wife has a sister who lives in Tauranga.
Oh, wow.
So that was sort of, a point of interest.
Yeah, a part of your movement and coming over here. I remember you telling me when we first met, it was quite an emotional time when we first met, and you were telling me a little bit about how a bit about your whakapapa and the Barnard story, your last name there, and then what you saw on the map when you moved over here.
Well, that was quite significant. Because of my name, Chris Barnard, and because of Professor Chris Barnard, who's a distant relation of mine, I got teased all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever I go, I get teased. When I'm introduced to a group or introduced to individuals, they'll grab their heart and go,
Oh,
are you going to steal my heart?
oh yeah.
So what I decided to do was piggyback
Oh, yes.
on the whole name thing and the heart thing. So the church that I was at, that church was called the Little Church with a Big Heart.
Yes.
So everything I did, all my marketing stuff was always related to the heart.
Yeah.
Coming to New Zealand, of course, when I married Louise, her youngster was a surfing champion in South Africa. And she was looking for a place where there would be good surf and good climate.
Yep.
And she found this place on Google called Wakataini. That's how we say it.
Yeah.
Wakataini. And she said, good surf, good beaches.
Yep.
This will work for Thurston. And I said, well, that sounds great. Good weather.
Cool. Yep.
I don't enjoy the cold weather, so I thought, this is good. But what are we going to do?
Yep.
Where will we find a job?
Yep.
All those type of things. And just lo and behold, I Googled the Presbyterian Church. Let's see, should I go into ministry? Should I go into teaching?
Yep.
Because those were my backgrounds. And I thought, I'm too old for going back into the classroom.
Yep.
Because I've been the headmaster of the school I founded for 17 years.
Yep.
So maybe ministry. I wonder if I could do ministry. Immigration would allow me to come to New Zealand.
Oh, yes.
If it would be on the work shortage list.
Yep.
So I just quickly Googled the Presbyterian Church, and lo and behold, the minister at that stage at Whakatane Presbyterian Church was looking at going on retirement.
Oh, wow.
And they had put out a call for a minister.
Yep.
So I just put in a one-liner.
Yep.
Is this position still vacant? And the next morning I got a reply. The position is not yet filled. Here is the profile of the church. Would you mind sending us your CV?
Awesome. Yeah.
And to cut a long story short, I was on the short list. But I needed confirmation if this is the right place.
Yep.
And I thought, Lord, show me how, and show me, give me a sign.
Yep.
You know, as Christians, we love the Lord.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in front of my computer, and I had Whakatane open on Google Maps.
Yep.
on my screen, and I pushed my chair back on the wheels and just looked at the screen, and suddenly the outline of Whakatane was in a perfect heart.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And that did it for me.
Yep.
I knew. And from that moment on, mysteriously, I just started forming a vision in my mind, in my heart, for Whakatane without ever being here.
Yep.
Just ideas without even knowing the town,
Where you were
not
coming
knowing
to.
the geographics, having no idea. And I decided then, Louise and I, we discussed it and decided that I would actually come to Whakatane, come and see. So at the same time, visit my son in Auckland.
Yes.
So that was the beginning of the journey here. And even the name, once I had arrived, the name of Have a Heart, that whole motivation of care, of love, of compassion, was part of the whole
The
theme
whole vision. Yeah.
and the vision. And that's how I came to Whakatane, to the Presbyterian Church. And interesting how I was able to engage with the various communities, because the parish was the Whakatane Knox congregation, and then the Ohope congregation, the Waimana congregation, and then later engaging with the Edgecombe congregation, and then engaging a bit with kōrero congregation, and on and off with Opodiki congregation.
So all of these are Eastern Bay, like
They're
rural
all
locations.
in the Eastern Bay, and when I looked at the history, there was a time when the Presbyterian Church had 9 churches in the Eastern Bay, thriving churches in the Eastern Bay. The greatest, I would say one of the greatest opportunities for me was when I was introduced to Hani and Tamiana.
Oh, yes.
They were the pastors, the ministers of the Māori Presbyterian Synod called Te Akapuaho. That was really exciting for me, because in South Africa our denomination was predominantly Zulu. Most of our churches were Zulu. So I was used to working
with like the native and
Yes.
indigenous people.
So it was really, and Hani and Tamiana were just amazing. Their hospitality, their generosity. And I would actually say that for me, Tamiana was probably my mentor.
Well,
He was, he taught me so much. And the beauty of the Māori tikanga, just absolutely awesome. And was able to form some relationship, a great relationship, working side by side with Hani and Tamiana.
Awesome.
So that heart was really the turning point for me.
It's
in my
amazing.
life. I think the other significant thing that I experienced in New Zealand that really touched my heart was the neighborliness. It's really something close to my heart. Is a community is just as strong as its care for one another and for the neighborliness that makes a difference. And I will tell people that if it wasn't for the neighborliness, the care that we received from the Kiwi people in this town, we wouldn't be here.
Yep.
Because immigration is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Many South Africans leave after 3, 4, 5, 6 months because it's just too hard.
Yep.
You cannot do it on your own
Yep.
unless you've got a support group, which I think is part of resilience.
Absolutely.
Resilience has a lot to do with your support group, the people around you, and the church was absolutely amazing.
Yep. Awesome.
Phenomenal, the support we received from the people in the church.
Awesome. And so, through your work, as you were working with the church and things like that, how did that change into you seeing the need in the community and different pains that was happening in our space? You've been here for, is it 16 years? Yeah. So, there would have been a bit of development and different things. And obviously founding a charity isn't an easy thing to do, especially, coming from overseas and serving, I guess, the people that aren't necessarily your own, but have invited you into that family. How did you see that and want to contribute to, increasing the well-being of the community?
Yes, the Have a Heart Charitable Trust, we were faced with quite a challenge as a church because when you do charity work outside of your church, we call it outreach.
Yep.
It can be costly.
Yeah.
It can be expensive. The first project that I ever started was called the Heart to Heart Expo and Family Festival.
Yes.
And that was birthed out of something that I picked up in the community. In Whakatane at that stage, we had 48 social service providers.
Wow.
And we had 44 mental health service providers in Whakatane alone.
That's a lot.
And I discovered that there was still, regardless of all these social service providers, we still had people suffering. We still had people hurting. We still had people who were living under the breadline. And I thought to myself, why is this happening? One of the things that happened is I had a call from the social worker at the hospital, and there was a grandmother who was looking after her grandchildren. And the social worker asked me if there was any way we could help, that Have a Heart could help, or the church could help. And when on investigation we found that this grandmother wasn't aware of the various social service providers in the area because her littlies, her grandchildren, were ending up in hospital with bronchitis, with bad colds. She was living in a caravan with no heating, no electricity, no power, no running water.
Yep.
And that, for me, said that here's a problem, there's something wrong here. And that's when we decided on having the Heart to Heart Expo and Family Festival, where we invited as many as possible, social service providers in one space to showcase what it is that they can provide to them. But to get the people in, we decided to provide food, fun, games, treasure hunt, to get our community connected to our social service providers. What it also did, it connected social service providers with one another.
Yes, absolutely.
So in the beginning, we started this project at the church. The first one was in 2000, I think it was 2012. and we didn't know what to expect.
Yep.
Initially, the social service providers, they thought I was doing this to, as we called it in the church, to get bums on seats.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing it with strings attached to get members into my church. And that's never been the idea. There are no strings attached.
Yep.
And that first event, I'll never forget, we had 300 people pitch up that day.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For the first one.
The second event we had 600 people arrive. The third year we had close on 1,000 people arrive. And the facility, the church facility, had become too small. And we then decided to move the project to Rex Morpeth.
Mm.
Wow, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
At Rex Morpeth, the first event had 1,500 people. Then, of course, with COVID for 2 years, we had to stop the project. And when we reopened the project in 2023, we had almost 2,800 people come along. And the stories that come out of it, the connections that have come out of it is phenomenal. And how many people have been supported, been helped through that whole project. So that was the first project. And the issue, though, was how do we fund these projects?
Yeah. Always.
And the church's finances were limited, so we agreed to establish the Have a Heart Charitable Trust. And that allowed us to seek and call for funding outside of not just religious, for religious purposes. So that was the beginning of the Have a Heart Charitable Trust, and that was registered at the end of 2014, 2015. So it's been running now for 10 years.
Wow, that's incredible. That's awesome. And just like to me, to you as well, because those events are very well, organised, and it just brings everybody together from the community, and, having the kids things set up and different giveaways and different organisations. We were very blessed to be able to set up a bit of a store where we got to connect with a lot of people, and just see, there's actually a lot of people hurting who need that little bit of support, and just by meeting somebody who can help them in that way, which maybe without that event they would never ever have even heard of. I think it's so important.
You had an amazing stand there last year, and I think you attracted quite a bit of people, didn't you? Quite a bit of interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that event.
Yeah, there was, we got a few people's emails and things like that. We did a little hoodie giveaway, which is good. And we also did some cool little videos around like, why is mental health important to you? Another question was like, if you had a superhero power, like what would it be? So just like little things, just to engage with people, and it was really fun.
Would you say that you had some significant connections?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
You made from that event?
Yeah. So other services, I think, was really important as well. I think just building rapport, like connection with the community too, just like letting people know, because we're obviously a very new charity as well. Like, I think we'd just come over a year old now, so it was important for us to get out and start reaching out to people in a different way. We see a lot of people in the schools, but that doesn't mean that we're out in the community as much too. So, and I think as well, when like mental health is talked about, it's not easy. And so when there's a stall that is one of the main kaupapa that they do is, talking about mental health or resilience, well-being, it break some barriers almost just by being there. And I think that's the significance of being out in those events, is that you break barriers just by being in other people's, or having an open space to engage
and
with
very
things.
Relaxed.
Yes, very relaxed. It wasn't like any pressure on to like go and see them. Yes. They're the people that talk about, whatever. Although there was that going on when people needed support and they would, I need help with this. They were being able to, go and have a chat with these guys. They'll be able to help out. But I think as well, like, it's important because that's like the whole reason why our charity's name is Wahi. Wahi just means a space. And for Wahi, one of our main goals is to create a space to kōrero, create a space to have these types of chats that aren't always easy, that are seen as like taboo, but it's a space that opens up when you're allowed to have that vulnerable conversation. So, yeah.
Well, you don't have to disclose your name.
Yep.
You don't have to disclose anything. It's a non-threatening environment. You're just inquiring.
Yep.
The beauty I found is that you get to know the person's name and you get to know their face.
Yeah.
And it's far easier to ask questions or just take a brochure or to listen than stepping over the doorstep
Yeah.
of that
Absolutely.
organisation.
Yeah.
I know that I suffer from whakama.
Yeah.
I don't easily go into a social service provider office because what will other people think
Yeah,
of
who
me?
see me going in here. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that and that was a huge success, I
Yep.
think. And dragging the children in.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, "Oh, what benefit do the children have? They're having fun. It's a treasure hunt, and they're going to win a bicycle." But what I have noticed since the beginning, some of those children who were 6 and 7, who were in the treasure hunts,
Yep.
are now teenagers
Yep. Who need
and
that
taking
support.
notice
Yep.
and starting to know offhand the various social service providers that are available in
Yep.
town. So when they get older,
They know where to
they
go.
already know
Yep.
these are the social service providers available in our town when I am stuck.
Yep.
Because what is part of resilience is where can I go for
Yeah,
help?
absolutely. Yep.
And I think that's important.
Yep.
So that's been one of our big success stories. And again, it costs money.
Yep.
This event in itself is $20,000 just once off. And those funds come from the community,
Yep.
from the various funders.
But I guess the value, like even though it's like, $20,000 to run this event, the value is, multiplied
Far
because
beyond.
those people are going to be able to access those services much better than they were before. And so that prevents further harm, which reduces more strain on the system down the line,
Absolutely.
So the value, even though it's $20,000 sounds like a lot of money, the value actually is multiplied when you think about the lives that you've touched in that space.
It's a sowing of a seed. And you may not see the return immediately, but long term, we know the impact that social service providers make on the lives of people who've come to the end of their tether, who've come to the end and say, I give up.
Yep.
And I think that's we want to have a heart for people who've reached that place.
Yep. And that name just fits perfectly, and it just backs up your whole kaupapa, Oh, that's awesome. And so from there, you guys have these amazing different things. Another part of your guys' kaupapa is supporting like local people, which we're a product of. So again, and I can't thank you enough for the support that you guys have given us. A young guy who had a vision and a dream of helping young people with their mental health because of different things that I've been through. You guys were actually one of the first supporters, and I'll never forget that. And so it's actually a pleasure to have you here as our first, guest on our podcast. And so you guys have not only supported us to a point where we're actually now, a charitable trust as well, being able to serve people in that capacity, but you've also helped out a few other awesome, kaupapa around in the Whakatane district, and even set up more within yourself.
That's right.
Yep.
So I think when I met you, Luke, and I really could hear your heart. I could see from where you were and the vision that was created within you and the passion in you to give up your normal, day-to-day job. You were so passionate, and I could buy into that. And all I wanted to do was to support you and make sure the dream you had in your heart would become a reality. And look at where you are today. In a short space of time, You know, with a little bit of help we could
It's
bring,
amazing.
you know, the support from PSN, the seed funding from PSN, some of the funding that we had,
Yeah.
that we could give you a kickstart.
Yep.
Look at where you are now.
Yep.
And that for us is good enough.
Yep.
And the beauty is in Whakatane, we have a lot of young people like yourself
Yep.
who have a dream,
Yes.
but often they give up because it's just too hard.
It's not easy doing, coming away from your, a solid pay, a paycheck that you need to pay your bills,
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. It's not an easy route to travel,
Not
I
at
don't
all.
think.
Not at all.
In anything like entrepreneurship, whether that's in being a founder of a charity or a business or a little small enterprise or whatever it might be, there's a lot of sacrifice involved with wanting to attain that vision. Yeah.
And you could model from us
Yeah.
because you managed
Yeah.
to set up your own admin team.
Yep.
You've managed to set up your own trustees.
Yeah.
And you were able to model it from us.
Yeah.
But we gave you those few steps.
Those steps.
to get
Oh,
where you are.
It'd be like walking around in the dark if I was by myself. I wouldn't be here today, to be honest. Like, our organisation wouldn't be here without the links that you gave us and the support that you gave us, and just like the coffees when you come around and you have no idea what's going on and how hard it is, and you just end up crying and all of that kind of stuff. You've been there to support us through that. So I think it's really valuable for young people who are trying to attain that support, just like you wanted to support people. You saw pain in your community, you wanted to support them, and you found a way to do it, and you've given us those tools to be able to do it for ourselves as well.
And for us as Have a Heart and our team, we marvel at what you're doing. And, when I hear your stats, and I look at your stats, it's amazing. Being able to touch the lives of our teenagers, of our future leaders. And from our point of view, we're grateful that you took that step.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have happened without you guys, so thank you.
We also, one of the things that really touched my heart was that Whakatane had the second highest domestic violence
Oh, wow.
stats
Yes.
in New Zealand. The second highest. And of course, family is very close to our heart.
Yes.
If you look at the logo of Have a Heart, it's about family. And we need to protect, we need to look after our families.
Yep.
Again, a broken family creates broken community.
Yes.
And we need to help our families who are struggling with issues, which was one of the other great projects that I really loved, was working with Black Power
Yes.
during COVID when we all were locked in,
Yes.
when no one would come out of their homes.
Yep.
We were struggling to distribute the food because we became one of the food distributors during COVID. And lo and behold, who came? With the Black Power guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
They weren't scared of the bug. They weren't scared of
Yeah.
what was happening. They were out there delivering food
Awesome.
from door to door.
Awesome.
And we formed a relationship with their leader, Bongi. Bongi came to see us and said, can we work together?
Awesome.
And he was concerned. He was concerned for particularly the young men in the movement. And together, him and I, with some of his people, we worked on a project, and he identified 4 areas that really needed attention in the Black Power community.
Yeah.
And according to Bongi, in Whakatane, there are roughly 300 Black Power families.
Yep.
And he identified anger as a huge problem because he experienced it in his own life. How do we deal with anger?
Yep.
The other thing was, of course, domestic violence, family harm.
Yep.
the anger often spread over into harming your family, those who are closest to you. And the third thing was substance abuse.
Yep.
Often he said that young people would feel so guilty.
Yep.
They'd be so angry. When they lash out in anger, they hurt those who are close to them. They feel guilty about it. They want to numb the guilt, so they drink.
Yep.
They use whatever drug is available to soften the conscience, the guilt and the shame.
Yep.
And often he would say that from there, we all know that alcohol and drugs is not always the answer. It doesn't work. It doesn't take away the guilt. It doesn't take away the shame. And when there's nothing else to do, they will go over into self-harm. The suicide levels as well, very high in our area.
Yep.
And together, we looked at a team. We brought together a team from a Maori context, not a Pākehā. What I found in Whakatane, we had lots of programs that were Western-driven, Pākehā-driven, that never worked.
Yep.
So the key was, how do we design something that works for Māori, that includes the tikanga, that includes all those aspects of Māoridom. And amazing people came out of the woodwork, Māori people, facilitators. And together we spent about almost a year brainstorming with these facilitators.
Yep.
And the interesting thing is what Bongi did. At one of their gatherings, he reformed a relationship with one of the other gangs. What are they called again? My memory.
The Mongrel Mob or?
The Mongrel Mob, yes. He made a contact with the Mongrel Mob leader down in Wellington.
Oh, wow.
Who funded this project.
Wow, yeah.
Isn't that an irony?
Yeah.
Mongrel Mob funding a Black Power program.
Good Samaritan story.
Yes. It's just amazing how through the negotiations, through the need, how we were able to bring people together, even though there was, this difference. And I'll never forget when we ran the first pilot project, we had about 8 men that came on the first project. And we still today have contact with those men. And those facilitators that actually put the program together have since gone on their own and run programs and designed programs of their own in the Eastern Bay.
Wow, incredible. That's awesome. And those are some of the other kaupapa that you support within Have a Heart charity.
Yes.
Right.
Well, birthed out of that, I would say, was the food hub.
Yes.
The food hub, because then we saw the need. Bongi would come to Have a Heart to our offices and our space every morning. He was there 8 o'clock.
Yep.
His wife said to me, I don't know what's going on at Have a Heart, because my husband leaves early morning and tries to coerce her to come with.
Yeah.
But he was there every morning. He owned the space.
Awesome.
He made it his space. And we gave him permission to be part of the team. And he would every day go and visit the families. And he would say to me, I need 10 food parcels for this family, that family.
Wow.
And we'd load up his car and off he would go, doing his normal visitation. He was almost like what would you call it, a pastor to those families.
Go and support him.
Sadly, he had a fatal heart attack in the middle of a new project. We were looking at how can we deal with homelessness.
Oh, wow.
He had a vision for people who, because in the Black Power region, according to Bongi, there was overcrowding in homes, sometimes 3 families living in one home, or families living in sheds. And he wanted to find a solution of how could we provide some form of accommodation for these families. So we were going to look at a property that belonged to, their family group in Poroporo.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sadly, that project came to a halt when he died.
Yeah.
But most of my workers, most of my team members are Māori.
Yep.
From his family line.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So they've been impacted, into a point where they want to continue to give back as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I couldn't run the food project
Yes.
without them.
And so you went from doing that like food hub where you guys did deliveries, and now you guys have developed something called like a social supermarket. Is that right? Yep.
A type of, probably a social pantry more than a
that's a good.
supermarket.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a supermarket with the same concept. But during COVID, we distributed, I worked out roughly, and I'm not sure how many families that would have been, but about 50 tons of food during the COVID period. And the setup of the food hub, the infrastructure was all funded by MSD.
Yep.
But MSD warned us all along that once COVID is over, there will be no funding, and encouraged us to create a sustainable model. That wasn't very easy. But what I found in the food parcels that we used to put out a box, and we got the food from Auckland, free food that was arrived, and we received some funding as well to try and make up a more complete food pack.
Yep.
But when someone came for a food pack, you would give them, and they would have to take what you give them. So you just put stuff in a box, give it to them. There was no selection. You just take what you get. Beggars can't be choosers, what we tell people.
Yeah.
And often there were food items in that box that they wouldn't eat.
Yep.
And people would be shy and, again, whakama, because you're almost coming as a beggar. Wouldn't be able to take the food items that they don't eat because they get growled.
Yep.
If you take it, say, well, I don't eat this and I don't eat that.
Yep.
It becomes an issue. But when we had to revisit the model, how would we do that? And we came up with the idea of selling food so that we can create sustainability. But how do we get food and how do we sell food that is affordable for families who are struggling? Because as you know, in the supermarkets, food has just gone up and up and up and
Absolutely.
up. Even we struggle to buy the things we used to. You can't buy the stuff we used to anymore. Our mortgage has gone up. Our rates have gone up. Everything, electricity goes up. Petrol goes up. Everything goes up. So you have to scrape your pennies together to be able to afford your food. So through a New Zealand Food Network, who is the big provider of food in New Zealand, they supply 65 food hubs in New Zealand, and we're one of the 65.
Oh, awesome.
So they provided subsidized groceries that we could buy and resell. So what we've done is we buy the items, we've asked the community, what are the main items you'd like us to provide for you? And we buy them wholesale in bulk. And then we mark up 20%. So the markup allows us to keep the doors open, to cover rent, power, travel, all those type of things. what we did then is we designed a model that for every $10 that you buy from the pantry,
Yep.
you can choose 3 free items from the free shelves.
Section, yeah.
So we got low-cost items, and then we've got no-cost items
Yep.
that you can choose
After
from.
you've purchased a certain amount, yeah.
So what I've discovered is most of our customers would come and would spend, on average, $40.
Yep.
That allows them 12 free items.
That's good.
So
What
when
kind of things are available in the free section?
toilet paper,
Oh, yeah.
milk powder,
Yeah.
wheat bix,
Oh, that's-
cereals,
Yeah.
tinned foods, and it varies
Yeah.
from week to week, month to month.
Yeah.
In season, potatoes, onions.
Far out. That's good.
Apple, like now is the fruit season, apples.
Yep.
Apple season, lots of apples.
Yep.
But generally, you would leave with a trolley full.
Yep.
Where you paid $80, but the value in your trolley is close to $100.
Yep. Yeah. Especially with all the different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people generally say to me, I've got $40 extra this week for petrol.
Oh, good.
I've got $40 extra this week
Yeah.
for power, for my power bill. I've got $40 extra that I wouldn't have otherwise had.
Yeah. Which
That
is so
enough.
important now.
It's crucial.
That $40
It's
extra $40 that you can buy nappies with, or that you can put petrol in your car so you can go to work, you know, whatever it is. It's just those bits of saving nowadays are so important. Like seeing stats about like the prices of butter and milk and bread up like 30% or whatever. That's those $40 is so important nowadays.
It makes a big difference, and it's such a joy to see how we can uplift our community and give them a bit of relief. So that's the model at the moment. We're hoping to expand. At the moment, we're not making a profit. We have to find additional funding because we have a slight shortfall. Then, of course, the other significant part is we have 18 pataka kais.
Wow.
18 pataka kais throughout the Eastern Bay.
Yep.
Every Thursday, we provide food, free food,
Yep.
to 18
Those
pataka
18
kais,
different places.
as far as Murupara.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's probably not that cheap when you consider all the fuel and stuff that you have to get there. And
What we've
persons.
done is, over the last 2 years, we've created a network.
Yep.
So most of the pataka kais have, if you could call it, a supervisor or a boss.
Yep.
They now come to us and pick up the food, and they have a network of people in their communities who they know struggle.
Yep.
And the distribution is at a fair,
Yep.
is put out fairly. So just in the first 3 months of this year, we distributed $77,000 worth of food
Awesome. Yep.
just to pataka kais.
Wow. Just yeah. That's amazing.
Free food that people have selected by choice
Yep.
is $168,000.
Awesome.
So the model, the change in the model is people no longer come as a beggar.
They have like dignity. You know, they
Dignity.
walk away with.
We've maintained people's dignity. They come in and say, I paid for this.
Yes. Yeah.
I bought it from my money.
Yeah.
I'm not coming as a beggar. And the other key is that they can select
Yeah.
what they want.
Yeah.
They don't have to take what you get.
Yeah.
So it's, for me,
Gives autonomy
it's
as well.
It's
Yeah.
an amazing model, and I've seen the effects of it.
I remember I can't remember if it's you or another person shared a story about a older gentleman came in and talked about the mints.
Yes. This took us a long time. In partnership with Waste Not, Want Not, we were looking at ways of getting meat. How do we get meat at a good price? And as you know, in Whakatane, home kills is the in thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you put meat on your table, by doing a home kill. But you cannot sell home kill.
Oh, okay.
The health and safety and the laws in the country does not allow you to sell.
Even if it goes through like a butcher? Not true. Far out.
So what has happened, and it took a long time, as I said, it took us 2 years to work through the various loopholes to make sure that it's legal. First and foremost, you need if you want to sell meat, you need to have an inspector to grade the meat and to certify the meat. And home kill is generally not certified, you see.
Yeah. But it's probably the best meat that you can get.
But one of the things that was happening in our area was when a beast, a cow, something gets hurt, it has to be, it ends its life, which is a real waste.
Yeah.
And it can produce a lot of meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we managed to find the butcher in Edgecombe, Toby, the young man Toby. He was willing to pick up the beasts, slaughter them, and turn it into...
Like process them.
Processing it into mince, brisket, those type of things. Cheekbones, lots of different things. Which was donated then, the beast was then donated for the community through the home kill process. He would process the meat. We would pay him $5 a kg to process the meat for us. But the stipulation is we are not allowed to sell the meat.
Ah, yes,
Okay. The meat has to be given for free.
Yep.
But to recover our $5, what we do, and this is the most popular aspect of our food pantry, is we then put a kg of onions, kg of potatoes, kg of carrots, pumpkin, a quarter pumpkin, with some savory spices.
Some
we
flavors.
put in a pack, and you buy the pack for $12, and we put a kg of beautiful mince.
It's pretty good, man.
$12.
What would that be? 30, 40 bucks?
Well, I'll tell
50
you
bucks.
that mince, high quality mince at the moment at Woolworths is about $25, $26 a kg.
Yep.
And here you're getting a meal pack for $12.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
And then we did the same. We managed to get chickens from New Zealand Food Network, and also from time to time from one of the other food wholesalers. So we offered a chicken at $10 for a frozen chicken in a meal pack. We now do that with brisket. I think the brisket goes in a meal pack for $8. And brisket is amazing. I know not everybody likes brisket, but I love stew. And you get a meal pack for a family for $8.
Yeah, that's unreal. I don't know what meal you could buy from like a supermarket that would be $8 for a family, to feed a family,
and
with the veggies and everything else.
I've been at some Maori gatherings where they have a boil up. Amazing. It's just such a cost-effective meal. With everything in the bag, and you've $8.
That's right there.
And we do the same with sausage. So the sausages we buy,
You need boil-up packs.
And again, Maori make the most delicious curry sausages.
Oh, yeah.
I love that curry sausage. And again, it's $8. Fish. There was a time when we had a lot of big 1 kg bags of chips coming.
Oh, yeah.
So if you buy your fish for $8, hoki fish, a whole kg of hoki fish, you get a kg bag of chips for free.
That's good.
That type of thing.
That's
just
incredible.
Putting food on people's tables.
Yeah.
What a joy. What a joy.
And that's such an important part of your own, philosophy and beliefs, right? And your values is the value of food in relationships and connecting with people. It's not just putting food and then leave them. It's about building like solid relationships with people.
Well, I love the model that Jesus gives us.
Yeah.
He was always at the table,
Yeah.
eating with people,
Yeah.
always around the table, caring and loving people. And that's what our community is about. That's what neighborliness is about.
Yeah.
Sharing our food, sharing our resources. And I know that we can talk about lots of other things, high-powered things.
Yeah.
But if someone's tummy is empty, they can't think of anything else. They don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
It's the basic need of our
Yes.
and it's our human right.
Yes. To access food.
To be able to have sufficient food,
Yeah.
to feed ourselves and our families. The other one is to have a roof over your head.
Mm-hmm. Just
Uh,
essentials.
to have a job,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can care for my families. And we have a high percentage of unemployment.
Yeah.
When I looked at the statistics of the people that come and shop with us, 14% of those people are unemployed. And yet we are able to put food on their table.
Yeah, just so important. So far, Chris, it's been amazing talking to you about your journey from South Africa, a little bit about your whakapapa, about the Barnard name, and how he was like a heart surgeon, right, of sorts, and then from there, you adopted that sort of, I guess, motto about having a heart and little things starts with big hearts and all of those types of things. And from there, we started to have a discussion about moving over to New Zealand, into Whakatane in particular, and from there, how your mahi in the church and both South Africa over here as well, and then moving into your mahi in the food hubs and the Have a Heart expos and connecting people up, and how valuable, how those different things align with your values in terms of looking after those who aren't doing too well, or who are maybe underprivileged in certain aspects of their lives as well. And something that I actually wanted to ask you early in the conversation was, you talked about how your church sort of started off as a smaller, as like a predominantly white congregation, and it started to grow, inviting in like the Zulu whānau and the like Indian whānau as well that come in to yours, and to a point now where you've just been back to, what would you say for that you've just been back for?
It was the opening and the dedication of a 800-seater.
Yeah.
The church just got too small. The building got too small.
Yeah. And now, like, it's continuing to grow, continuing to impact people's lives. But back when you started that church, this was coming out of a phase, like political phase in South Africa, coming out of apartheid. What does that life like mean over what it was apartheid?
It's a very interesting question, because I was born basically into apartheid. I grew up in apartheid.
Yep.
I lived apartheid. I saw it. I was fortunate that I grew up probably in a village similar to the size of, smaller than kōrero. It was a farming community, forestry community. My dad worked in that field, and I was born into a Zulu community. So I learned to speak Zulu before I spoke English.
Wow.
And that was my family, My second mother was a Zulu lady. But when it was time to go to school, I had to move into the city. And I had to go and live with my grandparents. And that's when you see the effects of apartheid, where suddenly you no longer had any black mates or black friends. People were separated, living in other areas. and you couldn't really mix with them because it was frowned upon. But we grew up with that, and of course we saw the effects of it, the negative effects of it. I always say that Mandela's release from prison was not so much because of the ANC, but it was because of the church. The church put pressure on, and you might know that, it put pressure on the government all the time, continuously, because we didn't think it was right.
Yeah.
And I experienced some things, especially when I started the school, and I didn't mention it earlier. And the school that I started in 1991, I allowed people from all walks of life. It didn't matter whether you were poor, whether you were black, whether you were white, whether you were Indian. People from all walks of life were welcome.
Yep.
And I had a handful of black children in my school, and I was issued with a warrant of arrest.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I was given 30 days to either get rid of those those coloured people out of my school, or I would be arrested, or shut the school down. That was what happened to me. And it was similar in the churches. If you allowed black people into your church, you were in serious trouble. And that was hurtful. It was hurtful. It didn't do our community any good.
Yeah.
But at the turn of apartheid, slowly things started changing, and things started opening up. And the suburb where I was living, where my church was, as I said, roughly 350 white people only in the church. But with the integration of people, a lot of our church members from our Zulu churches started buying and living in the same community. But what they were doing is they were traveling back, half an hour's drive, some of them driving an hour, to go back to their black church, to their Zulu church. And here they were living in an area where there was
Plenty of churches.
a congregational church.
Yeah.
And I kept on saying, why are you going all that way? Why are you wasting your petrol? Why, come and join us.
Yeah.
You're welcome here. Come and join us. And it just never happened. I remember the first time, the first family that was brown was an Indian family. And they came in, and everyone did this with their bags.
Oh, yikes.
That change was quite... And I remember my wife was involved in the church, and the Indian family said to her, we're not going to come again because these white people are snubbing us. And my wife said, no, please don't stop coming. Come and sit with me. And that's how we slowly overcame these differences. And then one of the bolder Zulu men, his surname was actually Zulu.
Oh, yeah.
Zulu, him and his family, they came. They made a conscious decision. We're not going to travel all the way. We're going to come and we're going to accept the invitation. And they're still in the church today.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to see them.
It's actually pretty inspiring, to be honest, hearing that, because
Yes.
you can imagine the faces and how uncomfortable it would be to be amongst that.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was for me, it was an inspiration to see the families, and slowly they started coming, and slowly I saw people crossing those barriers,
Yeah.
people engaging with one another, visiting one
Yep.
another, and we would have meetings together, sitting around the table, talking about our differences. And a friend of mine, Bruce Theron, is a great theologian. He actually wrote a thesis on the whole the differences between us,
Yep.
those barriers between us, and putting people around the table to
Yeah.
talk about our differences was beautiful.
I was
That's
just about to
correct.
ask that. Like, you use that as a tool for a lot of things, like, but, well, bridging gaps, right, is one way to do it is around a table. How important was that, back then, and like even nowadays? Why is it still important?
It is it's significant. The harm separation causes.
I think, yes.
South Africa is now 30 years out of apartheid, but we still see the harm.
Wow.
The younger generation, it's so beautiful to see, and going back to South Africa, to see the younger generation who don't have that heaviness upon them
Yep.
of growing up in apartheid,
Yep.
that were able to go to the same schools, same education, same level of education, same opportunities. It's just beautiful to see how our society is changing.
Yep.
Coming to New Zealand, I must be honest, I was taken aback. For a country that lays claim to the fact that there's no division, there's no racism, I was surprised.
Wow.
Growing up...
Yeah, especially coming from a history of experiencing that.
I always say, and people get upset with me when I say it, I say, I can see it, I can feel it, and I can smell it. And it is sad. It is sad that we have divisions here in New Zealand. And part of my mission is to break down those barriers, because they cannot exist in today's society. And I get asked often, especially now that I'm standing for council, about the whole thing about Māori walls. And again, I have to giggle. And I think to myself...
Was this type of language that you used to hear, like in that apartheid season?
All the time.
Should they have a seat at the table?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We would debate for hours. Why should a black man be here? Why should I have a black man as my director or on my team? On my business team. All the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting in New Zealand, and it sounds like I'm back in South Africa.
Wow.
And even the question, I'm saying, you're asking me the wrong question. The question should be, why can't there be, or why shouldn't there be a Māori person around my table? Doesn't matter where, whether it's council, whether it's at my home, whether it's in my business, whether it's in a community event. How is it possible that we're debating that here in New Zealand?
Yep.
It flabbergasts me. And actually, when I look at people, in my heart, I say, shame on you.
Yep.
Shame on you.
Yep.
But I can tell you one thing. No matter what anyone decides, or no matter what a government or an authority says, around my table, there will always be Māori.
Yep.
I don't care what the law says, because it's ridiculous.
Yep.
We live, I still have children, I have family in South Africa, and we live with the after effects of the causes of division that is driven by politics. That's why I don't like politics.
Yeah.
I don't like to be called a politician. I don't like to subscribe to politics, because it hurts people.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
It does.
That's my viewpoint, coming from that background.
Yeah. I think, like, that's actually educational for me. I had heard about apartheid and things like that, but I never really knew the depths of different things. Heard about stories about Nelson Mandela and different people who were, crucial in that movement, but I never really. I've met, and I actually grew up with a lot of South Africans back in Perth, and I'd heard about these stories, and I'd heard about other people experiencing these things, having to hide at certain points, or because they were with certain communities and things like that. But it's hearing those effects and how you overcame some of those boundaries and stuck at breaking down barriers for people to access things where we should be together on.
Absolutely.
And the value of being around a table together, the value of talking together, because I think that's what you talked about, was where that isolation or separation causes further division and divisiveness, where we start attacking people, and then we start thinking, oh, this certain person is this because this is what the news said, or this is what this happened. And when we're not around the table being together, it allows space for us to, that side says this, that side, and then we just continually build on our own beliefs, which might not always be very good.
Well, we have to make an intentional, a conscious shift in our minds. Because, yes, we are different, but so what?
Yeah.
We have commonalities. We have common things in us, in our DNA. We bleed the same way. We feel the same pain. We feel the same hurt. We have so much commonality. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate our differences.
Yeah.
Because
And
your
our
difference
uniqueness.
makes you unique, which is superb. It's wonderful, the fact that you don't have to be like me. You don't have to fit my sausage machine. And there's just such a beauty in other people's cultures.
Absolutely.
Such a beauty.
Absolutely. I love that.
And embracing one another, working together with one another. You know that whole thing that we say, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
So what if you're different?
Yeah.
What if?
Do I get shunned, or do
Yes.
I get moved out because we agree to disagree and we stop talking
Because you
to
don't
each other?
think like I think.
Yeah.
Or you don't process something culturally like I do. You know?
Yeah.
You have a different process of inviting someone, where I just open the door and say, come in.
Yep.
And we make an issue of it.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be debating whether I should have Māori around my table. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It should just be natural.
It should be natural, and it's also constituted, in through the treaty. So, yeah, it's so hard to see the things that's happening. And has that been like some of these views and things that that you've experienced, from your journey in South Africa to coming here now? Has that been a part of what's drawn you to try and make an impact at a council level?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's to the disadvantage of this community, because when I look at the history in Whakatane alone, when the first settlers came here, there were no rules and regulations. Māori cared for the settlers, because in the beginning settlers struggled to get on their feet, but it was the Māori who cared for them. It was the Māori who brought the kumara and the veggies and food to feed the settlers before the settlers even got settled. There were no rules and regulations. There wasn't a council telling them what to do and how to do it. There wasn't a voting system that said you could do this or you couldn't do this. And looking at the richness of the Māori culture, the richness of this territory, I think that Māori could actually, when you look at the iwi and what they have done, the various organizations, even the social service providers that are run by iwi. Phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's almost like they're separate.
Yep.
Why can't there be a collaboration? Why can't there be a coming together?
Yep.
Because I believe Māori in this area have far more resources to be able to give and to share to make this a thriving community where no one needs to suffer, no one needs to go through unnecessary hardship.
Yep.
Despite their circumstances, despite their disappointments, despite their misgivings, we're always going to have people who fall off the rails.
Yep.
But we should be there to pick them up.
Yes, absolutely.
Not blame them and shame them.
Yep.
Because that's easy. It's easy for me to shame someone and blame them. Oh, well, you're spending your money on this and you're spending your money on that, or you shouldn't be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing, or you should hold down a job, or, you know.
Whatever.
I can say all those things.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, that doesn't resolve or solve
Any other problem.
the problem.
Yep.
When someone's in a hole, there's no way they'll get out of it on their own unless someone reaches down and pulls them up.
Yep.
And that's what Have a Heart is about, and that's what I'm about.
Yep.
I believe when someone is broken, when someone is hurting, when someone is right down rock bottom, they don't care about garbage removal. They don't care about piped water. They don't care about sewage. They don't care about roads.
Yep.
All they care about is, where am I going to get the next meal?
Yep.
Now, while I understand that that's not a council issue or a council problem, I believe the council should pay attention somehow and support initiatives, support projects that will go into those areas and make life better for people who are struggling.
Yep.
You cannot ignore, you cannot push aside and say, well, this is just a minority group.
Yep.
This is just a nuisance factor.
Yep.
You cannot do that.
Yep.
Because we need to touch the lives of even the least, if you want to call people that.
Yep.
Which I don't like doing.
Yeah.
Because we are all equal.
Well, that's
And
sort
we
of.
all have the same rights and should be given those rights.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I firmly believe in that. Because when one part, you know the analysis, when one part of the body is hurting, then it affects the whole
The rest
body.
of it. Yeah.
When your little toe is painful,
Yeah.
you
You get
struggle to
headaches.
walk.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
or a headache. You have to deal with it. And that's the same. I can moan and groan about crime in Whakatane.
Yep.
I can moan and groan about all the things that are not right. I can moan and groan about security. But unless I'm willing to do something about it, I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah. Yep.
And I shouldn't criticize.
Yep. And so with you, like, you know, taking this journey into the council, what does that mean for you? Like, what is your thing that, you know, we're talking about bringing to the table? What kind of values or views are you, you know, really wanting to put forward? Is it those people who you've just talked about who you really want to put them, you know, first? You're wanting to look after and care for those who don't have access to certain things?
The first thing that I'm thinking is that there's power in the community, there's knowledge in the community, there's wisdom in the community. Every big problem in a household, in a farming community, in a town setup, is always solved by the people. People, you believe it or not, people have wisdom and resources New Zealand is known for that. People generally are resilient, and when they are faced with an issue, they deal with it straight away.
Yep.
And I know we have issues now like health and safety, and
Yep.
you have to consider this, you have to consider that, all these things that have to be considered. But I take a good example is when we had the Edgecombe floods. And I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
So Have a Heart was on the forefront.
Yep.
But what I saw at Edgecombe, long before the council had their act together, people were saving people. People were picking up people. People were floating in boats, going and helping the elderly, helping the children, picking up the pets. Long before the council was involved.
Yep.
Actually, as a matter of fact, the council didn't know who was where.
Yep.
But the community knew exactly where Grandma was,
Yep.
where Grandpa was, where Susie was.
Yep.
The community had already pulled it together. And if you listen and you watch the social media in Hawke's Bay, where they've recently had those huge big floods.
Massive.
What was it? Neighbours
That was
saving
looking after.
neighbours.
Yep. Yep.
Neighbours, farmers coming with front-end loaders, opening up homes,
Yep.
taking action long before the council did anything. And that is what I stand for. Giving our community far more access to the decision-making.
Nice.
Consultation.
Yep.
I'm a ratepayer, you're a ratepayer. If you just impose a fee on me, I don't like that.
No,
I don't know about
Nobody
you.
does. Yeah.
But if I'm consulted, if you explain to me and you consult me and say, this is the issue, this is our struggle as a council, this is the problem with water, this is the problem with roads, this is the problem with what the council's faced with. What do you think we should do? Some people say to me, it's not that simple.
Yep.
Believe me, when you bring the community together, they will come up with an answer.
Yep.
They will come up with a solution.
Yep.
That's been my experience
Yep.
over the years. And these little projects that we run and the projects that we brought together, most of the time, words of wisdom and action that's been taken has come from the community and not from our leadership.
Yep. Yep.
I think we underestimate the power, the
And the
wisdom,
community.
and the action that the community can take.
That's beautiful, and it's, I wish you all the best for moving into that space and just giving people a voice. I feel like a lot of people in these different voting things, that might even discourage them from voting in general, is feeling like their voice doesn't really stand for anything. But I like that that's something that you want to put at the forefront, is making sure that those in those smaller communities have some type of input into making sure that their community listens to the voice of the community, not just coming from people who are totally disconnected from different things.
It's the creating a forum.
Yep.
And fair enough, our present council, they have mechanisms in place where they give you an opportunity to speak to the 10-year plan, to give to object to things. They've got a box in the foyer where you can give suggestions. So they've opened up a form of communication. But I think we need to make it easier, in my opinion. And I'm a simple person. Make it easy for me to communicate. I'm not very good at communicating with this. I'm learning.
Yep.
The younger generation, yes, they can very quickly give you a response.
Yep.
And tell you what they think through your social media.
Yep.
But many of us baby boomers, we struggle with that stuff. And some of our other people make it easy for people to say what they think. I've realized that whakama is something really real. People don't always put themselves forward. And I found the same with Kiwis when you offer help. The general Kiwi thing is people say to me, there's someone else worse off than I am. Go and help them.
I remember it was this time we were running a youth group and we had this kai and it was way too much. And so we went, oh, what should we do with it? And the kids they say, oh, we should go downtown and see if there's any, people who are hungry, any homeless people. And we went to go and give it to this guy, and he goes, oh, no, there's people way worse off than me sleeping outside of the bus shelter, and he was saying that, it was kind of like hosing down. It's like, no, exactly. Bro, just take the feed,
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He will see himself less worthy.
Yeah. It is very true.
Yeah. And they are actually the people we need. And a lot of them are hidden.
Yep.
You don't know about them because they won't put up their hand and say, please help me. And we need to open the doors. We need to provide forums. We need to provide structures where it's easy for someone to come and say, this is what's happening in my life. This is what I think.
Yep.
And that's part of your program, your project, is how can I get people to speak up when they feel broken, when they feel they're at the edge.
When they don't feel like they've got any value to them. Or
yes, I'm not worthy of help. I'm not worthy of support. I think that's one of the things that I would promote.
Yeah.
How can we create forums? But then as well as projects.
Yep.
Projects that go to action, not just talk.
Yeah, super important.
We do a lot of talk.
Yep.
And then projects just die because there's no sustainability.
Yep.
There's not enough energy.
And I think even with that vision and that first point that you're talking about, creating those forums, that's what you've also done with Have a Heart Expo, is you've created, you're not waiting for other people to come into your door, you know what I mean? Right. You're creating an open space for people to come and engage with, rather than feeling like there's these closed doors where you have to open and then you'll be accepted into a space. Rather, the doors are already been opened. Come and join us. That's what I'm getting from your aspirations as in your council journey.
Yes, one of the things that was so remarkable about the Heart to Heart Expo was seeing people sitting on a picnic blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone who's on the benefit, but next to them is someone who is really very wealthy.
Yeah.
And mixing and talking to one another.
Yep.
That generally wouldn't happen.
Yep. Very true.
I meet people at these functions and these workshops that I never would under normal circumstances.
Yep.
And that's invigorating, that's exciting.
Yep.
So that I'm not just in my own little cocoon.
Yep. Awesome. That's great, Chris. Well, really looking forward to seeing what happens with these candidate elections and local council voting things, and all the best for your journey. And it sounds like the mahi that you've already done with, whether that's over in South Africa, moving here with the church and our community, with your food hubs, all of those different things just show that your heart for the community. And I think that all of those people who come through either your services or who are connected or who come and get kai from the food hub, they feel valued. I know for myself, I feel valued in you guys just giving us an opportunity, not knowing me from a bar of soap, but giving us a chance and an opportunity to see where things go. And I think that's really, really important for people to be able to consider, other people's journeys. They're not always the same as ours, but we value the uniqueness, and that's what I've heard in our kōrero today. So thank you, and we just wish you all the best with the rest of your journey, and it's not far away. So
well, let's see what the end result,
yes,
what comes of it.
Whatever.
We continue to care for our community.
Absolutely.
And I just want to commend you, Luke. It encourages me now that I'm older, and I remember when I was your age, the fact that you're stepping up. Thank you. You give us older people the hope that there are leaders coming up, leaders who are willing to step out, not just thinking of themselves, but willing to make a sacrifice, willing to give of their talents, their time, for the sake of those who are struggling with life. Thank you. I want to commend you. Thank you.
Well, thank you too, because I wouldn't be here today. I strongly believe that if you weren't helping me. So
we work together.
Yes,
I've learned from you, and you've learned from me.
That's what it's about, eh? Being around the table. It's not just down. This is how it goes.
That's right.
Everyone's on the same level. So beautiful, Chris. Appreciate your time, and again, all the best for your what do you call it? Your council journey.
My journey.
Life
journey.
Life journey.
It's full of surprises.
Yep.
I wouldn't have ever thought in 100 years that I'd end up in New Zealand.
Well, and then running for council, that's another level too. Wait, just before we finish, do you have anything that people might be watching at the moment and just thinking this show is all about resilience? Is there anything that you would want to share with somebody who maybe might be struggling through times or situations in their life that you would just want to say to encourage someone about being resilient?
I think the first thing for me personally, my resilience in those moments when I felt I can't go any further, was my spiritual connection with God.
Yep.
That space in my own life, that secret space, when no one else knows what I'm feeling, no one else understands what I'm feeling, when I've come so close to the edge where I have no hope whatsoever left in me to go one step further, it's being able to speak to someone who I know loves me, cares for me, and accepts me just as I am. Even in my broken state, he doesn't point a finger, doesn't criticize, and doesn't shame me, and doesn't blame me. That was my number one
way that you kept digging
for
down.
my resilience when I reached those moments. The second thing was to find my best friend.
Find your people.
To find my best friend, the one I know and the one I knew I could trust with my life. That was the second step of my resilience. I knew that I could spill my secrets. And
so important.
he or she would keep it. In this instance, he would keep it sacred, just as sacred as I do. And likewise, wouldn't blame me, but will embrace me, lift me up, and listen to my brokenness. Never mind advice, just listen and hold my hand. And say, I'm here for you. I'm with you. A person who would, I love the English word tarry. Will just sit with me, even if they say nothing. Those have been the main two aspects of my resilience. Of course, the third one down the line is together with your friend, you find the person or persons or organization that has the resources to help you. And there's always someone who will help you. I think the fourth thing, the last one for me, is don't be too scared
Yep.
to say, I need help.
Yep. That whakamā thing, you were talking about.
That has been my biggest thing, the whakamā. Too shy, maybe too proud
Yep.
to say, I'm struggling.
Yep.
Because we always want to be seen to be coping with life.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say, I'm not okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think that in a nutshell for me.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Oh, I hope that if you're listening now, I hope that encourages you, and that you can remember in those times that there is always help, and don't be whakamā to reach out, because there is support for you, so again, Chris, thank you for your wisdom, thank you for your time, thank you for sharing your journey and being so vulnerable with us here on our first episode of Resilience Matters. I'm sure you'll be back talking about resilience again. It's been an amazing time with you, Chris. Really appreciate your time and really appreciate your mahi in the community, and I'm sure there's thousands of other people in our community who would say the same thing. So thank you very much. God bless.